A blast and a man running off with his pants on fire.
Police say one of them forced a female student into a room and made her perform a sex act while the others watched.
A Wicker Park woman will spend this holiday recovering from a punch to the face from a total stranger.
24-year-old Keon Vance is charged with aggravated battery, discharge of a firearm, and unlawful use of a weapon.
My dog woke me up. We walked down the stairs and I noticed a fire and we just started waking everybody up.
It's alleged that Goodwin sexually assaulted the student by using physical force or coercion and was aided and abetted by one or more other persons.
Richland County deputies say 32-year-old Kenneth Foster assaulted his wife and pointed a gun at her daughter.
This attack is just indicative of the criminals knowing that there's no deterrent out here.
Somebody knows something and somebody's going to say something, for
Children making a swift steal, taking bikes that don't belong to them.
You know, I'm 21, but when I was 18, I wasn't stupid enough to do that and then have kids record me and have friends help me. At 18, you know what you're doing. At 18, you know what you're doing. At 18, you know what you're doing.
Damn!
Now YouTube censored. Now YouTube censored.
I'm mad as hell right now. Yes, I am.
Viewer discretion is advised. Mama Black.
This program contains language and sequences some viewers may find disturbing.
Now on Just One Station, an explosive situation at a South Florida home. Several cars left completely charred. The owner calling this a deliberate arson attack. Tonight, she's hoping surveillance video will help track down the people behind the crime.
This was definitely planned to be on Christmas Eve. This is the Grinch of Christmas, for sure.
A blast and a man running off with his pants on fire. Security cameras catching a possible Christmas Eve arson in southwest Miami-Dade. Priscilla Hernandez woken up in the middle of the night to this fiery scene outside her home on Southwest 149th Avenue near Southwest 15th Lane.
My dog woke me up. We walked down the stairs and I noticed a fire and we just started waking everybody up.
She says it happened after 4 in the morning. Her neighbor's camera rolling on what appears to be two men walking by one. Then seconds later, a flare-up to the left of your screen. Then the two men running, one shaking flames off as he goes. Hernandez coming out to this scene, clearly shaken.
My heart was pounding. My family was in the house. My grandparents landed yesterday from Cuba to spend the holidays with us. I was just worried about everybody, even my dog, the smoke, inhaling it.
Now, 3 charred cars sit in her driveway, including a Mercedes-Benz. Tens of thousands of dollars up in flames. Hernandez says she isn't letting this ruin her Christmas spirit, but she wants to catch whoever is behind the blaze.
Somebody knows something and somebody's going to say something, for sure. I want to see them behind bars, for sure. This isn't okay.
Hernandez says she is offering a monetary reward to track down the people who did it. So is Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. Call 305-471-TIPS if you have any information that could lead to an arrest.
For that sexual assault on a high school campus in New Jersey tonight, 4 teenagers are facing charges.
Police say one of them forced a female student into a room and made her perform a sex act while the others watched. All of this happening inside Hoboken High School.
New Jersey reporter Tony Yates live in Hoboken with this disturbing story. Tony.
Yes, it is, Bill and Liz. That 18-year-old suspect was arrested and released on November 30th. And then additional charges were filed against him. He was rearrested. He was in custody for about 5 days before his attorney had him released again. And because he is 18 years old, he's being charged as an adult. Several Hoboken police officers were outside the school today keeping order. The serious accusations putting some students on edge. The Hudson County Prosecutor's Office has charged 18-year-old Hoboken High School student Amir Goodwin and 3 other juveniles with numerous charges in the alleged sexual assault of a 17-year-old female student on November 30th inside the high school and during school hours, and recording the assault on a cell phone. It's alleged that Goodwin sexually assaulted the student by using physical force or coercion and was aided and abetted by one or more other persons, specifically 2 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old student, that the victim was forced into a room and forced to perform a sexual act on one of the males. The complaint says that male is 18-year-old Amir Goodwin. His attorney, Adrian Edward, denies that.
I wanted to be out there that the aggravated sexual assault, that he received a sexual favor from this victim, is not true. He was not the receiver. And I just needed to be, clear all across the board that he was not the receiver, because that's a very serious charge.
Edwards says Goodwin has no previous criminal record. He's now facing numerous charges, though, including endangering the welfare of a child for possession and distribution of child pornography, aggravated criminal sexual contact, criminal restraint, and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. The 3 other juveniles facing similar charges. 4 students facing accusations that shock.
You know, I'm 21, but when I was 18, I wasn't stupid enough to do that and then have kids record me and have friends help me. At 18, you know what you're doing. So there's something wrong there. It's not.
Amir Goodwin is set to be back in court on January 29th.
Tonight on a deadly crash involving a bicyclist on Pineville Matthews Road. This was this afternoon. CMPD says a 57-year-old Francis Mail Jr. was hit and killed by a car attempted to speed through the intersection before the light turned red. That driver, 18-year-old Ashley Elliott, is now charged with misdemeanor death by vehicle. Police are still investigating who had the right-of-way at the time of the crash.
A Wicker Park woman will spend this holiday recovering from a punch to the face from a total stranger. It was all caught on surveillance video just released by the 7-Eleven store on North Milwaukee Avenue. The woman says she was entering the convenience store at about 10:20 Monday morning. A man she had never met swung at her on his way out, giving her a broken nose. She had reconstructive surgery this morning.
The ferocity of this attack is just indicative of the criminals knowing that there's no deterrent out here. They can do what they want.
Police are using the surveillance video to try and identify the woman's attacker.
Now to a story you'll see on just one station. Children making a swift steal, taking bikes that don't belong to them. Those bike bandits caught on camera.
Rush Lowe has the video, and it is a 7 News exclusive.
Just take a look at this guy. It's the middle of the day. He'll walk up to this home, and just like that, the bicycle is gone. Let's look at his cohort moments before. A large pair of bolt cutters in his hand. Look at him just walking onto the property of Nahama Heller in northeast Miami-Dade. This all happening off 9th Avenue in northeast 176th Street.
You see the kid pull his clippers out of his backpack, throw his hood over his head, and then, like with all the confidence in the world, walk right up the walkway. One kid ran up the grass, snipped the chain from over there, ran off, and then a second later, the other kid rides right off on the bike.
Nahama says she can't believe how brazen these crooks are.
We were responsible. We put this big heavy-duty thing, we locked it up with the chain, and now I have to drive my son to school every day.
So this is the middle of the day on Saturday. Come here, let me show you something. This is the bike lock, and as you can see right here, it was cut right in half. That bike is gone. And this isn't just about one bike that was stolen on Saturday. Yes, we have another victim.
You just don't feel secure when people can just come take your things. It's not fair.
Abigail Shafran also had her child's bike stolen on Saturday.
In the middle of the day with neighbors out, there were people walking on the street. My neighbor said he saw the kid standing there. And he was outside.
With a bolt cutter.
With a bolt cutter. Yes, it's mind-boggling. And when I posted it on Facebook, people said, oh, yeah, we saw these kids walking around the neighborhood with bolt cutters in their hands. It's just all day. They're not scared. I mean, look, we have cameras right here, and they weren't scared. They didn't care.
Now these cameras giving you a clear view, a cutting crime with bikes swiped in a neighborhood hoping to put an end to this. In northeast Miami-Dade, Rosh Lowe, 7 News.
And that surveillance camera gave us a pretty good look at one of the two. If you have any information for investigators, call Crime Stoppers at 305-471. At 6, a firefighter with the Columbia Fire Department has been arrested on charges of domestic violence. Richland County deputies say 32-year-old Kenneth Foster assaulted his wife and pointed a gun at her daughter. He's charged with criminal domestic violence and 1 count of pointing.
A grandmother found dead in the trunk of her own car in South Fulton County, and now police say they have teenagers in custody accused in the crime.
Yeah, good days. Caitlin Pratt is live at the Fulton County Jail. Good morning to you, Caitlin.
Good morning to you, Sharon and Elise. Loved ones of this 58-year-old victim say she never met a stranger. Well, in a terrible twist, police say these 2 strangers are behind her death.
Just how funny she was, how giving she was, just how nice she was.
A person who tried to make things better, who tried to help others until her last day.
Just knowing the senseless way that she died and for no reason, and the brutal way that they did.
Police found 58-year-old Tony Abad dead in the trunk of a car near her workplace on Campbellton-Fairburn Road in South Fulton County. Tony was a well-liked employee at a Publix deli and bakery. While police have not released a motive for the crime, those who knew Tony best say they believe she died doing a good deed.
They took advantage of her kindness.
They are Jared Kemp and Deasia Remake Page. The 18-year-old suspect's now charged with murder.
She would give anybody anything that she had.
Tony's family releasing this statement, quote, "Many people would agree this was the hardest working woman they ever met. This woman loved everyone else more than herself. My mother tried to see the good in people even when it was ill-advised, but she was very loved and will not be forgotten." And those 18-year-olds have been booked here into the Fulton County Jail. They'll be going before a judge in just a few hours to hear the charges against them for the very first time. Still a lot of questions, though, in this case. How do these two know one another? How did they encounter the victim? That's the latest here outside the jail this morning. I'm Caitlin Pratt from the Day.
There's been an arrest in last Friday's shooting that injured a teenager on a CTA bus. 24-year-old Keon Vance is charged with aggravated battery, discharge of a firearm, and unlawful use of a weapon. Police took Vance into custody after he was identified as the person who fired the CTA bus last week, injuring a 14-year-old boy who was shot in the neck. Another man who was walking by was shot in the foot. Police say Vance is a convicted felon.
And as always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Also follow us on the usual media for more and interesting information like this.
Fight their asses.